Good morning, YouTubers. Welcome to another vlog, or rather flat vlog, I must say. There's a little bit of atmosphere, there's a little bit of mist. That's it's a loose term. There's a tiny bit of mist, and there is a tiny glow on the horizon. Sunrise has just happened, although you probably couldn't tell. There's no warm hitting my face. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah, like I said, there is a slight glow on the horizon, way off, way in on the horizon. There are some nice textured clouds, and some of the clouds are picking up a little bit of colour. Again, that's a loose term. I'm being optimistic here. But this video is all about behind me. I'm running a workshop tomorrow, and I always like to go to my workshop locations the day before, so it's fresh. Like when I was at school and I was horrendous at revising for my exams, the only way I could do it was to crash it out the night before, so it's fresh. So I've been here plenty of times previous. I was here last weekend where I was pushed for time. I did manage to get a pano. I haven't actually looked at it yet, so I'm not sure if it's a bit risky to put it on the screen. But yeah, if it is any good, I'll put it up now. Yeah, I took a pano. I was pushed for time, but it's all about coming back to the same location time and time again, especially when you've got workshops. So yeah, I'm back here again the day before my workshop. I'm taking out a bloke called Paul for all day 1-to-1, which I'm very excited about. This is me being excited, by the way, in case you're new to my channel. You don't know who I am and how I am. This is me being excited. Yeah, so what we're going to do is go behind me and shoot the martinsale lone tree, but from a different perspective. I've found a couple of different... Sorry about that. Battery died. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, we're going to shoot this tree from a different perspective. I found some new compositions, and that is why you come back to a certain location time and time again, especially when you're doing workshops, running workshops, is you will see things different every time you go. And I try to approach the same locations with a fresh mind, so that you're not just going to get drawn to the exact same spot, and you're just going to get bored of it. So try and approach the same locations with a different mindset, and obviously the weather conditions will help you get in them different mindsets. But yeah, that's the plan. So I'm going to have a little scout behind me and see if I can frame up some shots. I know the light is horrendous. This vlog is not. I'm not going to produce any world beaters. It's purely behind the scenes of how I do my workshops and plan my workshops. So I think this is going to be my first shot. I'm going to take Paul. You can see the tree. Just focus. Let it focus over there. There you go. That's the tree. That's the famous martinsale lone tree. And there's a nice path here which bends round from bottom right round, and you've got a nice tree line. And then your eye eventually ends up at the lone tree. Now, that all works well if we get some light, which is behind you, casting all down in that valley. There's some nice undulating lumps and lines, and from the Ice Age has gouged all these interesting patterns into this little cove, I'm going to call it. It's like a little cove. I'm going to bring a bit of Bude in the seaside to this vlog. It's like a little cove, and the ice has obviously ground its way in and out, and it's left all these nice patterns. But yeah, the path obviously is a leading line up, and it bends around. Obviously this time of year everything's a little bit dead. This would be amazing in spring, which is not very far away. We are March the 7th now, and today is actually my birthday. So yeah, thanks for all the birthday messages. Yeah, great, thanks. And yeah, and so obviously spring's just around the corner. So once these little bushes on the left start budding, the trees start budding, or obviously and in autumn, the colour will help contrast the scene, because it's very green and very brown, very sort of flat. So it needs light to work. I'm not going to take a shot here. I've had a little look around with the camera and I'm happy with the composition. It's just whether we get that light tomorrow morning. That's going to be the issue. So this is the main reason why I'm bringing Paul to this location. Obviously it's that tree, but as you can see we're getting closer to the tree now, and if I just focus on these hills, you can see these diagonal lines. If I can see, there you go, you can see these diagonal lines. There's one down here as well, and then the actual shot will follow off down to the right, and you've got the tree. You've got the tree as your sort of main focal point in a way. So yeah, this is the main shot for me. There is another one a bit further around which uses the lines in the ground like we talked about earlier. We'll go there in a minute. Again, I'm not sure I'm going to take a shot from here because the light is horrendous. You're going to be around, focal wise, you're going to be around the 24 to 35 sort of range. And I was thinking sort of square crop, maybe even a portrait, depending on what Paul fancies at the time. But yeah, this is the main sort of shot. But again, it needs that light. This is a perfect location. The sun sets right at 90 degrees to this. And obviously because we're in a bowl and you've got all these undulating patterns and textures in the ground, you're going to get that sort of swooping, lush sort of green country. It's almost like a French sort of a French lavender field sort of a roll, you know, obviously not purple, but that sort of a feeling. So I'm really excited to come back here later on in the year as well. It's a beautiful morning, and weather aside, there's rabbits, there's birds. I don't know what sort of birds they are. I really wish I had the knowledge of Mr. Simon Booth. I think they're kestrels actually, stalking the blackbirds or the jackdaws. I'm winging it here with names that I've got off. I can vaguely remember from Spring Watch or Winter Watch, shall I say. Yeah, so other than the weather, it's nice. It's just nice to be out on the birthday. Yeah, just reminding me that it is my birthday, and just thank you again for all my comments, birthday comments. It's really kind of you. Yeah. Right, on with the workshop. So I found a third shot. Like I said to you a minute ago, I didn't take that wide shot. I've stuck the 50 on, and we're just going to emphasise these diagonals. The light is still horrendous and flat, but I want to take an image for this more so for my own purposes, my own memory, so I can come back to it when there is some light. I like the composition. It's all diagonals with a tree right at the top, and I'm evening out the bottom line of the hill, trying to give that the same sort of space as I've got sky, so the image is somewhat symmetrical. You'll see what I mean when you see the shot. But yeah, let's get the tripod set up. It's quite an awkward one to set up as well because I'm at such a 45. So as you can see from the conditions, it's very flat. I mean, really flat. But yeah, you can see, like I showed you earlier, you can see these diagonal lines, and then that's the hill that I was on about earlier that disappears off out of the frame. And then we've got this bottom line here. Now I'm 16 by 9 in portrait orientation. I'm around f11, around 1/10 of a second. Shutter speed's pretty irrelevant here, really. I haven't got anything close, so I'm not worried about wind. The tree is quite far away, even at 50, so I'm about 85mm crop equivalent. Yeah, so this is another view or another take on the same area. And I always teach this when I do my workshops, from YouTube videos, always bang on about going back to the same spots over and over again. Get your local area done well before you start venturing off. You do obviously learn by travelling, and new experiences obviously broaden your skill set, but really homing in on your local area will also do that, and it will test you to come up with new ideas and new techniques, new focal lengths, use new lenses. Yeah, and this is, I can't stress enough how awful this shot is going to be. It is horrendously flat. It's going to be black and white for sure. That's not just because it's flat. I have got an image in my head of very bright, harsh blue skies, and doing a real high key black and white of this same image. So it's not just about that light hitting it at 90 degrees. There is a plan B and another side to this image that I think will work. We haven't got that neither. We haven't got blue skies and harsh light. So it's purely for a composition and experience and gaining knowledge that I know that I can come back and grab a half decent shot. And this is how I run my work. This is how the work that goes into my workshops is I like to know the area, which is funny enough because I know this area really well. But the second location for our workshop tomorrow, Paul, is Savernake Forest. Now, I put my latest vlog up in the top corner. Is it that corner? I can never remember which corner it is. I've shot there a lot, but it's such a vast area. I don't know that area as well as I want to, and I'm going to. My aim is to run workshops solely, woodland workshops in Savernake, so I need to know that area like the back of my hand, and that is paramount when you're running workshops solely on one location, or woodland for that matter. You need to know the area you're shooting if you're hosting a workshop. But anyway, yeah, this is my shot. Diagonal lines leading up to the lone tree. It's pretty straightforward, really. I really hope you can hear me. The rain is starting to set in. It's like a real mizzle, and the wind's picked up a little bit. But down behind me is a nice, real swooping bend of them ridges, like I was mentioning earlier. Still got the tree as your sort of vanishing point, but now we're introducing a path on the left, which sort of snakes around this bowl, bends round. It does bend round to the left of the frame, so what I probably would do is come here at the top and then go down to the bottom and try and use the path as more of a leading line looking up towards the tree. So there's two options here, a higher shot and a lower shot. Yeah, so I think I'll have to make a decision on which one we're going to do, because it's quite steep, like the same as the previous shot I took. It's very, like a real strong sort of at least 45 degree, so it's not the easiest of ground to walk on. Now this shot is all about getting down using a wide angle lens, emphasising this hill and making that tree look miles away in the distance, which is obviously what a wide angle lens does. Coming down, putting the camera up, we're using this path as a leading line, sort of spirals round. Then you've got these layers of lines in the grass. I quite like it. It does look good from at the top as well. Obviously using the wide angle lens at 11mm, which is obviously wider than 24. I think 16 is 24 in a crop sense equivalent. So yeah, from up there all down here, it does work. Got plenty of time, so hopefully Paul won't mind coming here first, because it's at the same level as the shot I used with the 50, and then we can make our way around up to the hill, and then go and obviously shoot into the woods as well. So yeah, this is another shot of the same location. So there you go. This is not a real comprehensive insight into how I plan to shoot, but this is just a little snippet of what goes into taking or running a workshop, one-to-one especially. Obviously in the group situations that me and Chris do, obviously you can play off each other. If one person doesn't know the answer to a question, the other person will hopefully, and vice versa. Whereas on a one-to-one, it's purely down to me and my knowledge, and I need to know the area, the spot. I need to have 5 or 6, 7 different compositions if that location gives you that, which this one luckily does. Yeah, so that shot I've just took there was around 11mm on a crop. I think I was at around, same again, a tenth of a second, because the light hasn't changed. It's increased slightly, but it hasn't really changed much. I'm using a polarizer for all my shots, a case polarizer, just to enrich them greens and bring out a little bit of definition in the sky. But to be honest with you, there isn't any. It's very milky, very flat. ISO 100, f11, and I was focused about a third of the way in. I haven't got anything in my immediate foreground, so f11's probably the sweet spot for this Tacina lens. So yeah, there's a little bit of mist on the hill. We are going to end up in them woods there with Paul tomorrow. There's a nice little shot. I'll put the shot up now of some trees, and there's like a path that leads to a vanishing point. I took that last year, I do believe. Done quite well. Sort of a few prints. Went well on Instagram, and I do actually like the composition. It's a nice composition. So yeah, we're going to end up there, and then after that we are going to shoot over to Savernake Forest, and again I'll put the link to that video somewhere up here or down in the show notes. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this style of vlog and a little insight into how I plan one-to-ones. I am going to be doing one-to-ones on this spot in the future. Link to my website will be down in the show notes. Just go to my workshop page. There's a contact me form at the bottom. Just fill that out, send me a form. Yeah, we'll go from here. If you want this specific one-to-one or another location, then I'm more than happy to go to another location, and I'll do some scouting, and we can go out and shoot together there. But yeah, this is going to be my main spring workshop, I would say. Martinsale Hill, because everything will be more in bloom then, and Savernake Forest. Right through the year I'm going to be doing one-to-one workshops there, and groups if there's 1 or 2 people at the most. I'm quite happy to do groups as well. Yeah, so just head over to Photoninja Photography, I'll put it up here, .com. Head over to my workshop page and just fill that contact me form out, and we can book some workshops. I'm here based in Wiltshire now full time, so you'll have my full attention. I'm not going to be shooting off here left, right and everywhere. So yeah, I'm here now for Wiltshire for good. So yeah, yes, right, I'm going to go. It's my birthday. I don't know if I've mentioned that, so I'm hoping, I don't know, Willow might have got Daddy a present, or at least Mummy might be cooking me a bacon sandwich or something when I get in. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe, and don't forget, head over to my website for workshop details, or fill out that contact me form, and send me a message, and we'll go from there. Yeah, ciao.